Hi, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about this knife which I created. There is some wood carving aspect to the knife. I don't know what really came over me, but I just decided one day to make a knife. These knives that came with the carving kit from Amazon are fine. Everything I've done so far is with these knives. I wondered if I could make something a bit better, a bit better for me anyway. This one is kind of a bit light, and I thought I wasn't holding an edge, but it probably is. It's just my sharpening is not very good. I've got better at that, or more frequent at doing it is the main thing. When you're cutting into like hard bits of wood, like these little bits that I've seemed to have gathered lots of from my dad, it takes the edge right off it because they are rock solid, so you need to keep going with that sharpening or honing. Anyway, that's enough about all that stuff. This is about the knife. After watching a few videos on YouTube about roughly how to make a knife and then trying to remember that, which I did watch a few, and then I was sort of convinced at the start that I didn't have the right materials to make a knife. Metal, any bits of like carbon steel lying around, but it turns out I did. I'm not sure if this is like high carbon steel. It's an old hacksaw blade. You can see the thickness of it there is quite thin, but it was worth giving it a bash anyway. So I started off by getting this little bit of metal and I just jumped straight in, and I got my little blowtorch out the kitchen, which I think is more designed for making a creme brulee than it is for making a knife. And it probably didn't get hot enough. In fact, it almost definitely didn't. But I got it hot enough to do what I wanted to do. What I was trying to do was anneal it to make it soft so that I could work it better. I did that to a point. It got a bit hot. Really, if I was going to do this again, I'd get like a proper like propane or butane torch. I don't know what one's right. I'm just making it up as I go along. So anyway, I heated it up and then I left it to cool down. And then I came back and shaped it with the grinder into roughly this shape. After it was shaped like that, got to work with a sandpaper to put the file to try and put this edge on it. And the people I'd seen doing it with the file, they were making much bigger knives, and the actual blade was maybe 3 or 5 millimeters thick, so you could really work it to put a good edge on there. And you can see I tried there. I marked out all this bit to file it off and put like a defined edge, kind of like this one. That's maybe 2 mil thick. This is 1 mil thick, so there's a lot more material to play with there. Trying to file it down to get that profile. After that, I went at it with a sandpaper to try and put an even finer edge on it right at the end, and it used to come straight to a point there, but you can see that's long gone. That came off when I was doing something silly and twisting it, and it just snapped off. Still good. Sanded it down to a point, and then the next stage was to heat it up again, this time to strengthen it. So heated it up until it was as hot as I could get it. It wasn't very hot, but it was at least like looking orange. And then I quenched it in some oil, just cooking oil. Again, this is all stuff from the kitchen so far, isn't it? I left it to cool down and I stuck it in the oven for a few hours at whatever temperature it was that you're supposed to do that at. I can't remember, about 200 degrees or something like that. And then I left it to cool completely before I came back and started thinking about what I was going to do with the handle. And this is actually the second iteration of the handle, because I was a bit too heavy-handed with the first handle and it broke whilst I was trying to put it on. So I just cut a line into the top of this bit of wood with a saw and then hammered this in, and then made some holes for some pins to go through. And then I glued it in. They're not exactly perfect. They're good enough for the first time, I think. And it's a nice beech handle, nice and hard, and covered in beeswax. And so far I've been using this. This is actually one of my favourites for like finer work. And you can see here it just goes and gets some nice ribbons off with it when you get it at the right angle. Ribbons or shavings, it does it all. So for tidying things up at the end, it's good. For actually like hacking things off, I'm a bit worried to get too carried away with it, just because I know how it's made. And these are a bit close to the top, so if you did go a bit too hard, you could maybe break out of the top here. So I used the old one, or the Amazon one, for all the rough work. So yeah, mostly the point of this was just to say, give it a bash, give it a try, and see if you can make something a bit more handy. My favourite thing is how I've carved in these little grips into the handle, so it makes it really good for holding like this. But I think what I'll do when I make another knife, well, look, there's the old handle, which is still glued to this brick, which I was using for something. I'll just snap this bit off and demonstrate what I'm going to do the next time. The next time, because I've actually hurt my thumb, one of them, by pushing on that so hard when I was making that wee Christmas tree. What I'm going to do the next time is extend the handle out over the blade, like just a little bit, just at this, like at the start here, like that, where you push it, so that you can get a good grip on it like that. Obviously not that long. It's going to just come to about here, but that's probably what I'll do on the next time I make a knife. You can see that you're going to have a lot more power to get through something that way. So anyways, thanks for everyone who's subscribed so far, and all the people who are leaving comments and let me know you enjoy the videos. I enjoy making them, that's why I'm still doing it. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching, thanks for leaving comments, and get yourself tuned in for even more carving videos. And who knows what's next. I've just ordered a whole bunch of stuff off of Temu, probably going to be garbage. I ordered this off Temu and it came like broken. So I tried to sharpen it on my grinder, but the metal just goes like, it's almost like it boils away. It's like, it's not very good metal at all, but the handle might come in useful later. I got a refund from Temu for it. But I wasn't put off by that. I've ordered more stuff from Temu, just to see what it's like. I might get into like doing it with the Dremel or the angle grinder if I can find a big enough wood. I want to make a huge bowl with angle grinder, so we'll see where we get to. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.